Well, there you go again with our brand new intro. Compliments of Tim Snyder, the producer over at Talking Trash. Thank you very much, Tim. That is incredible. Love it, love it, love it. Can't get enough of that intro. So thank you, Tim. And how you doing, guys? I'm Andy Vitale, host of My Fight Our War and co-host of Music and Mayhem on Wednesdays with my brother Skylar Ray. And you know what? It's Sunday, so why not go live? And especially when I got my southern sister, Lori Masonia, is coming on, and she's going to talk about this wonderful Dubs burger I'm getting and waffles and all this southern cooking. And she's going to make me all nice and fat when I get there in June, which is fine because they're auctioning me off. So it'll be more to auction. So before we do that, we have to bring on, of course, who is not in studio, but she's
All
there.
right. Here I
There.
am.
And you don't have to worry about her sitting there doing all this stuff and pushing buttons and everything,
Yeah, because it
because this
doesn't
is
work
just
from
going to
home.
be us chit chatting with
Mhm.
Lori and getting things going. She's got a lot of things happening. I mean, a lot of stuff. So that's going to be stuff where Lori's going to be able to talk about. There was a lot of things that happened, a lot of turmoil that we all deal with. It's called life. It's not all
Mhm.
freaking sunshine and roses, man. And but
But our
it doesn't
beautiful
deter,
southern sister.
it doesn't deter Lori at all. She took it with a grain of salt. Everything worked out fine. And not only did it work out fine, she's got so many other blessings that are going on in her life currently that she's going to be talking about, and as well as her event that she has happening this June that myself and OG are going to be going to, and we'll be talking about that too. So without further ado, let's bring on Lori. What's going on, Lori?
Yay!
Hey everybody, how are you? How are
How
you
you
guys?
doing? I'm going to check something
Wonderful.
here. We're going to hold on 1 minute. I am going to do a switch here,
Uh-oh.
and let's do a little
Okay.
bit of rearranging. You know what? Let's go back to that way. There you go.
Yeah.
We'll
Okay.
go back to the regular camera. That one view there. Lori, what's happening?
Oh, a lot. how
You know,
how are you guys?
well, I was going to say, they sound a little tired, but when you're pulling all nighters, that happens. And in our past, when you're doing, the all nighters would be because of just different reasons. But yours was your events that you do every Saturday at your house. So,
Yes, it
so first
was.
of all, you know what, Lori? There's so much going on right now. Just why don't you give a recap of, what the heck's been going on with you? I mean, with everything's going on, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah, Lori's world. Let's go.
Well,
Mm.
this is the thing. I don't know where to start.
Well,
There's not really a beginning. I mean, everything just kind of happened, at one time because as you know, the enemy came hard, and tried to bust my camp up, which he should have known that wasn't going to work.
Hmm.
And
mhm.
so we started a Saturday night get together here a couple of months ago at my house, and for a while we was having like church at my house, and it got so big we had to move to the park, and then the enemy came and tried to do some things, and so through the winter we just decided that we would come to my house and we eat together, and it was just going to be a small group of us, and somebody just share their testimony of recovery each week. Well, now, like, the house won't hardly hold everybody, and I got a big house. There were so many people in here last night. It was unbelievable. And so we had a soup for the soul Saturday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and
How many
another
people you
lady,
think were there
myself.
about? How many
I'm
think
sorry.
how many people you think showed up last night?
It was at least 25.
That's
Wow.
At
nice.
Wow.
least, and we have teenagers, we have kids, we have anybody that wants to come. We have metal folding chairs. I have a bunch of those. We had to bring those in last night, and they're in the kitchen, they're in the dining room, they're in the living room, they're everywhere. And so the guy that was going to speak, I've known him since he was just a little brat, like in the seventh, eighth grade. He's 34 now, and he served in the United States Army, disabled vet, and he's in recovery. He was bad. He was a bad boy,
Ah.
and he got in here last night and brought this house down. I'm telling you, he brought it down. not just with his testimony, but it was just everything, his faith. And so it was so wild, nobody could go to sleep. I had to start asking people to leave,
Oh,
just so I could like try to soak everything in. That went on till like 2 o'clock this morning. Then we slept for a little while, and we all hooked back up again this morning. And they just went home a little while ago. It
woo.
was, I'm talking, incredible. And
That's
there's
all
just
right,
not
man.
another way to spend. I would rather spend a Saturday night. It's called the cave. That's what we call it, because a lot of things can happen when you're in a dark place. So we call it the cave.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's nobody I'd rather spend my Saturday nights with than a bunch of people in recovery with their families that normally wouldn't have anything to do, anywhere to go, or
Mm.
you know what I'm saying, and it be
Oh
a
yeah.
risk for their recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get something like that, and like we always talk. First of all, I see Jacqueline up there. Jacqueline, thank you for coming on. Let's see. I'm going to time her to see how long it takes before she tells me about the amazing recipe she's going to be cooking
Cooking
up,
today.
chicken or shrimp gumbo and all this stuff. It's like, whoa!
Excuse
But
me.
so that yeah, with addiction, it's just that feeling that makes you think you're alone and no one cares, and that's just part of
Mm-hmm.
addiction. And what you're doing and what we all do here is let people know, man, addiction's only a word. And you're every
Addiction,
Saturday.
addiction. People give it too much credit. You
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
um, and it's no secret, Manny. You and I talked for a long time last week. I have spent 15 years of my life praying for my daughter, because she hasn't been in my life due to her lifestyle choices. And I don't even want to say that word, addiction. But I got a phone call from her, that she was in rehab. And so her oldest grandson, which, it's no secret that I'm raising my grandkids,
Mm-hmm.
oldest is 15. He had made a bad choice and got into some trouble. And a great kid. But, I had to stop and look at the mistakes I made when I was growing up. Times are different now. Consequences are stiffer. But it took him getting in trouble to put her on her knees. And so she went to rehab. She gets released on Wednesday. She's checking out of there and going and getting married. And
That's
so it went from her calling every morning and me being like, hello. And she's like, can I talk to Caden? It went from that to, hey, mom, I'm really sorry for for everything that I've done. And,
Wow.
mom, this man makes me feel worthy. I know God sent him, but mom, you're worthy too. And then
man,
the next
that's
day, she's finally, after 15 years, I love you. I cried for two
Mm.
days.
man. That was that was this past two. When was it that you
It,
called me? We talked about this. Was that
oh, it was
Wednesday?
the first of the week.
Yeah, it was like Monday too. Something like that. I got a call and or a message, and it said, "Call me, please call me as soon as you can," or something like that. So
Yeah.
I remember I called, and as soon as you answered, you just like, "You're not gonna believe this." And man, all of a sudden, she's just, and I couldn't stop smiling. I mean,
Nice.
you could feel your joy through the phone, and I was like, 15 years. It's been
15
since you
years.
spoke.
I've been in a
15.
cave, and I'm going to tell you about your cave. Is when you're in your dark place,
Yeah.
it's not always a bad thing, because not only can you, like for me, for I spent several of those years having a pity party inside my dark spot, but you can learn a lot. It's like a spiritual gym. And then like the people that God put in my life, like you and OG and Tyler Thomason and
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie Rose, all of y'all don't even know. I mean, what a vital part of me not giving up on her that y'all were. And I just, want people to know, don't ever give up. Don't ever stop believing. And you have to, the first thing that, like, for me, I had to do was forgive myself.
Yeah.
And when I look at her, even at 33 years old, I still see this innocent baby, that I brought home from the hospital, to me, she'll always be the most beautiful person on the earth. And, I feel like it's my season. Everything that I have asked God for, everything that I've worked for, everything that you see other people getting blessed. Well, how is their person getting clean and mine not? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Well, either she wasn't ready or it wasn't God's time. I
That's
mean,
what we hear that all the time, man. And I've said it, I've thought it. We've all had when we go through these hard times. It's just like we may not say it out loud because we don't want to take away someone's joy, but it's just like I'm doing just as good. I'm praying just as hard. I'm doing all the good things as well, and I'm so happy for them. But you know what? When and you know what? Just like the saying, it's not our time, it's God's time. It's not our will, it's God's will.
yeah,
And like you just said, it wasn't time yet. And for
right.
whatever reason, all this stuff was adding up until your grandson had that issue that now it's time. And it just everything was in a row. And like we were talking about addiction, and I've always said how we have to be so careful with our words and how words are so strong, and especially when we give them power. And I got into it with this guy one time, and he was talking about addiction. And listening to this guy talk about, you would have thought that addiction was like his idol, that he worshiped the way he was like, oh my God, addiction is so strong. And we all know the evil part of addiction. But this guy, like I told him, I go, man, you sound like you're freaking praising addiction the way that you're going. Instead of saying addiction, what it is an evil piece of shit. And it's this, that, and everything else, and how recovery and God is all this wonderful stuff. All you're talking about is addiction, powerful strength. And I don't know if I can beat that. And that's why I told him, I go, man, addiction's only a word. Addiction is not a death sentence. And I kind of got in his face a little bit. And I go, you started to piss me off, man. I said, why don't I go, you haven't said one word about your faith or God or rehab or recovery. All you're talking about how strong addiction is and how weak you are. I go, you're losing right now, man. I go, you got to just turn that thinking around. And we talked for about an hour, and he was just kind of like, you can see him getting pissed, but not at me or just the whole situation. He was like, I didn't even think of that. I didn't even, and then all of a sudden it clicked. By the time he left, he was MF addiction all over the place. I was
Yeah.
like, there you go. There you go.
Tell everybody.
It's time to fight back, man. Addiction, it's called My Fight Our War for a reason.
Yeah.
But
I tell everybody, addiction's over our head, but it's under God's feet. Anything over our head is under God's feet. And all we can do, and I don't want to tell you, a lethal weapon's a praying mama.
You don't mess with Mama Bear, especially when she got a
I tell
Bible.
everybody about your story and your mom.
Oh yeah, she was just like when those doctors said, say goodbye, he's gonna be dead soon. My mom, she didn't even blink. She was just like, as soon as they left, I was trying to talk to her. I'm like, I'm sorry, Ma, I gotta leave you. And she's like, no. And she's like, no. And it was like, that's it. It's not up to them. It's up to God. And that's it.
That's right.
And it was just like, okay. And here I am 5 years later. Like, but it's like,
I've
don't mess with Mom
said
or the Bible.
that I believe that God was going to use what we call the least of these, those that have walked through hell and didn't come out smelling like smoke. God's going to use those people to change the world, and He's doing that. Not just here in Athens, Alabama, but He's doing it through My Fight Our War. And I mean, look who all. I've made some of the best friends. I mean, look at King Hansen and his story, Scholar Ray.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I have just really, really heard some incredible stories, and it's like, oh, you think you got a story. Let me tell you about my friend here, come on down to the rally or get on My Fight Our War, and I'm telling you, y'all are some of my favorite people on the planet. I love y'all a lot.
Well, we love you, Lori, and
We do.
we talk about you all the time and everything you've been doing. And the thing is, this isn't like you just tell me, oh, you know what, I got an idea. Let's do this year, last year. This is something you've been doing for so many people. And if anyone, had not the right to complain, but to have that little bit of you know what about me kind of thing going on. And, hey, we're all human. For everything that you've done and are continuing to do for so many people, it is Lori time. It is time for
Yeah.
you to get these rewards and blessings. And the thing is, we all knew they were going to come eventually. It's just the right time, and now's the right
But it
time.
comes when you stop worrying about it.
Yeah,
You know,
when you let it
let
go.
go of that thing and go and help
Yes.
somebody else, you know?
Yeah.
And this blindsided me. Everything that has happened, I mean, we know it's going to happen
Mhm.
someday, but like I was so wrapped up in like, you know, what we got going on to help other people. But the thing about my daughter that I love the most is like she may call me everything but a white child of God, you know. But she'll tell everybody else, call my mama. And
Oh
she'll
yeah.
call me
Wow.
Lori, you know. Call my mom, she'll help you. Call my mom, she'll help you. You know what I mean? And so uh that has always been like something that kept me going too, is to know that, you know, who are you really mad at when you're in addiction? Who the devil has three jobs: kill, steal, and destroy. If you want to let him win, let him, you know. And I had a guy tell me, you know, a situation unfold this week. It was just totally crazy. Someone I really love a lot. And I knew something was bad, wrong. And I was like, how am I supposed to, you know, get involved in this? Well, I got a phone call from his wife. And, you know, I was like, oh, okay. You know, it was something totally off the wall. I was like, hey, while I got you on the phone, you know, I really love you and I'm fixing to come in at you sideways, but here we go, you know. And it was a very productive call. And then, you know, I hung up and it was like my spirit was saying, you got to call him. He's at work, but call him. So I did. And last night, right here in my living room, he stood up and told his wife, he said, I have to tell you something. When I left for work on Monday, I took both my pistols. I
Uh-oh.
was ready to either go back to the streets, get back in the dope game, or go blow my brains out.
Hmm.
If Lori had
Whew.
not have called me, I would have killed myself. I didn't know that part, okay?
Wow.
And I'm telling
Wow.
you, anybody that's listening, if you catch the replay, if it's down in your gut feeling that something's really bad wrong with somebody, don't say, well, I'll call them tomorrow. I'll check on them tomorrow,
Mhm.
because tomorrow could be way too late.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I've said it so many times. I've had people they'll talk about individuals, family, friends, acquaintances, coworkers, whoever it is, and that have issues. And then you hear the after story, was like, well, you know what? I thought that there may have been a problem,
Yeah,
but I didn't do anything. Or they'll be like, or I've heard people also say that, yes, this individual, but you know what? He's got such a big family and so many friends around, he'll be fine. You could have all the physical family and friends surrounding you and be totally alone. So
exactly.
if you like you said, Lori, if you have that little feeling inside that no matter how slight it is, if you're talking to somebody and you get that little indication that something might be wrong, something is wrong. And you know what? I'd rather be 100% wrong and assuming that and going out of my way and, taking all the measures. Hey, listen,
Mm-hmm.
phone call, going over there, stopping by, doing whatever it takes, then to all of a sudden the next day get a phone call that so and so is no longer here. That living with regret. When I was with Detroit Police and working EMS, I can't even tell you how many times I had to sit there and I had to deal with, unfortunately, a lot of death. And
Mm.
I can't even tell you how many people I put in body bags in my career, working ER, working on this EMS and as an officer, put people in bags. And then you'd hear the families and friends of the person saying, I can't believe they're gone. I wish I had 5 more minutes. I wish I could have told them this. I wish I wouldn't have said that. Well, you know what? It's too late. So don't live in regret. You have
Right.
other kids right there. You've got other family members here. Tell them every day. Tell them every day.
And you know, a lot of people can have all the family in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was someone said on your show, maybe Skylar Ray, that, you can have blood family all day long. That's not your family,
Oh, that was King Handsome.
King Handsome.
King Handsome.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
that's the one. He said, family through blood, they're relatives. But
Yes, yes.
but your true family and friends that's your family. And it doesn't have to, but yeah, I remember that. That was King Handsome.
Yeah. And so last night, we were in here and Caleb done went crazy. He done lost it. And, we had all the cameras off and he went around the room like he was just blacked out in the spirit. And he said, "Hey, he was actually talking to my grandson and he's like a role model to my grandson. He was like, "Hey, you, Mr. Tough Guy, sitting over there with, your ankle monitor on. Hey, but yeah, you tough. All right. Yeah. Uh-huh. Keep thinking you tough." And then he goes over to the other guy who's a grown man and he is like, got right up in his face and he was like, "Let me tell you something. If you ever feel that way again, if you ever feel like you want to take your life, do me a favor and don't come in the group posting prayers." You know what I mean? Because, we have certain people that lead this group. And he was like, don't come in here acting like everything's fine and we're family. And if you don't love us enough, just say, "Hey, brother, I'm broken right now."
Mhm,
What I
mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
Don't come in here faking it. And he went around the room and got everybody. And he's like, he told my best friend, he was like, "Girl, you got a wicked heart. You ain't nothing. You got a wicked
Woo!
heart."
Man,
And I mean, but he meant it in love, but he was so serious about what he was talking about. He wasn't playing. And every one of those people came back today. It was so crazy.
yeah, they came back to beat his ass.
Yeah, the thing is
No,
though, sometimes you got to be brutally honest with people you
that,
love.
well, just like we say, we're here to love you, support you, motivate you. And when you need it, we're here to give you a kick in the ass. And that's
Yes,
exactly what it is. And you know what? It's the one who tells you all that stuff that loves you the most. It's the
right.
one, don't sugarcoat shit. That, I said that when I first started this amazing family is I may not be for everybody because I'm not going to sit here and say life is wonderful, life is great. No, man, life is fucking hard, and it's rough and it's full of ups and downs and pains and good, bad people. But you know what? Rise above because we're going to meet Lori. We're going to meet OG and Jacqueline and Coach and Scott and all these other people that are part of this family. That's the reason we're here to never give up.
And through all of that craziness and all going to jail, sweet little me, going to jail, that was so funny. And the deputy, he was
Sweet
like,
little me.
yeah, he was like, he's like, "I'm not going to put cuffs on you," but we drove into this dark garage and he was like, "Now I have to put them on you to walk you in there. And I get in there and everybody's like, "Lori, what are you doing here?" You know, and, and then the thing is the people that were in the holding cells that were getting ready to go like into their, the big part of the jail and get in their pods. And they're all just high as Cooter Brown. And they're looking at me just tweaking like crazy, like, and they're doing the heart sign and they're blowing kisses. Like, what the hell are you doing here? And I didn't cry that day. I did not cry until I signed my bond. I was only up there like an hour and a half. And I came out and there was people everywhere standing
Oh,
out
that's right.
there, that
Wow.
had saw my mugshot because it hits online immediately. My lipstick looks so good. I'm telling y'all, it was amazing. Because when he came, I'm in this moo gown getting ready for Bible study, and so it was amazing when I walked out, everybody just started clapping and hollering. And it was like, "We came up here to get you." Oh, yeah. And it was like, I don't mean this in a, like I'm all that because I am definitely nothing, but I will stand up for what I think is right. And if I had to do all that again to get where I am today, let's go.
Well, I disagree with you because you definitely are something. I mean, don't
Yes,
ever
you
cut
are.
yourself short. You are
Yes, you
something,
are.
Lori. I mean, you bring the best out of the worst, and you make the good better. And I tell you, you make us strong, and that's one thing I love about you. Is that's one thing that it makes me looking forward to so much of finally meeting you getting to Athens, Alabama, and just being part of this, event, and just that energy and just unleashing this fury on addiction with you down there, man. It's going to be a great time.
Well, I
You're
got
gonna
a
get lots
little.
of hugs.
I'm gonna be honest. It's a
Uh-oh.
moment of honesty. I was like, all these people like is wanting to, buy a ticket to have dinner with Manny and OG, and I was like, wait a minute, maybe I want to have dinner with Manny and OG. Why don't I just like let y'all keep your money, invite y'all to come? Because we got like $120, $1 a
Dang.
raffle.
Whoa.
And I was like, why don't I just invite everybody to come? Because I'm coming too.
Hey, you know what? We're gonna be. That's one thing I'm looking forward to. Is I know the events are busy and all that stuff, but just I'm really looking forward to that quiet time before everything starts, just to finally sit down with you and just to have that little bit of us time. Really looking forward to it, and
As busy as you're gonna be, it may only be a 15-minute window.
Oh,
Y'all
I mean,
gonna be busy
you
that
won't
weekend.
see me. You won't see me much after the meet and greet because I'm nailed to the wall. The meet and greet will be on June the 6th at Friday night at 6
That's
p.m.
Friday.
And
Okay.
all the people that are coming in
Uh-oh.
from everywhere, the music artists, everybody, they'll come. Everybody will eat, hang out, laugh. We'll walk over the land, pray, whatever. I mean, we just do whatever. We do not. One thing about my ministry, we do not have like a set agenda. You know what I mean? At 6,
Sounds
then
right up my
6:15,
alley.
Like my
we
fight or
just
war.
get out there and whatever, go with the flow, and then everybody will be tired, from driving or flying or however they get here. And hold on, this thing's gone a little crazy, but
So that's on Friday, Lori.
yeah,
That
the meet and
the
greet,
meet and greet is Friday.
yeah.
Okay, and
And
then
then I'll be back out there about 9 a.m. on Saturday to meet. We have one of our biggest sponsors, Texas Roadhouse. They're donating 1,000 hot dogs and buns. They do that every year.
Wow.
oh,
Pepsi
Wow.
brings a trailer out, with hundreds and hundreds of drinks cases. We usually have like 60 cases of water. We try to keep on ice. It's a guy that grills ribs and all of that stuff. It's just amazing. The support I've had since year one, and I have to make sure everything's going. So I don't get to. This will be everybody's time to get to say, hey, Manny, you're going to be the first speaker, by the way.
oh,
Just thought I'd let you know. And
okay then.
and then, people want to come up and meet Manny and get to know you. And over here,
Good.
we got people being baptized. Over here, we've got this section. If you saw my live the other day, all these resource tables, these merch tables. There's so many things going on at one time. You won't see me.
And that's going to be on Saturday.
That's going to be on Saturday. That'll start
yeah.
about 11 a.m. We got Jay Truth. He's a Christian hip hop. You saw the flyer, the artists that are going to be there. These are guys that, was supposed to do 40 years in prison. They did less than a year. You think, you got a testimony, then you meet these brothers, and they were anointed, with this gift of rap, but they used it for the kingdom and not the streets. And when I look at these guys, it's like one of them, Redeemed. That guy is amazing. His name is Josh. He's like Richie Cunningham. I could never imagine him being in trouble. And I told him the other day, I said, I'm so glad I didn't know you then. He said, man, I'm glad you didn't either.
You know what, Lori? How often have we heard that? Oh, I can't even tell you how many times I've said that same thing, because I've had people when I started my fight or war posting, thank you so much for starting this family. It's I feel safe here. I feel, sending in our messages and all this other stuff. And then after I told my story and a little bit of backstory about me and stuff like that, people were like, it's like, all these really nice things. I'm like, well, I appreciate that. But trust me, 5.5 years ago, 6 years ago, you would not be saying these things. And then I had a few people pop on saying, oh, come on, it can't be that bad. Those stories. And man, it was like the floodgates open. People that knew me in the pit. They're like, oh, yeah,
yeah.
believe me, this son of a bitch. I mean, I was like, they get the picture, Thank you.
There's something that people don't understand, that has lived in a closed-in box, or they think they've never been affected by addiction, but addiction is also other things other than drugs and alcohol. But there, when the haters hit, it was like, why did she bring in all these speakers from out of town? They was doing all kinds of digging, just trying to find something. Well, this is why I bring in Manny Vitale. Athens, Alabama is a growing city. It's like what, 103,000. Athens, Alabama is nothing like Detroit, Michigan. You know what I mean? Um, our friends that's coming from Mississippi, our friends that's coming from the Carolinas. But I think of Detroit in particular because of certain reasons that go back, to that's where my ex-husband was from. They don't know that, like, you can hear a really good, powerful testimony from right here in Athens, but they don't know what it's like to live in the heart of Detroit. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
And that's what I want people to know is, like, yeah, addiction doesn't discriminate, but based on your geographical location, you know what I mean?
Yes.
What we deal with here, yeah, it's bad. It's real bad, but it ain't crap compared to when you were a Detroit police officer.
And the thing is, man, I about to say I had the pleasure or the fortune of seeing both sides, but it wasn't, obviously. But it gives me the ability to relate to both sides because I was a Detroit police officer. And I was also a member of the, 1%. I was a member of the Detroit Highwaymen Motorcycle Club. And I basically went from a lawman to an outlaw. So all the people who are the law-abiding citizens, who have all these questions, concerns, and comments, I can, relate to their side as these upstanding civilians who have all these concerns and worries. As far as the people dealing with addiction and the violence and the madness goes along with it, I've done it. I mean, I've been, I'm not just some guy who wore a badge and run around and saw what happens in that life. I lived that life.
Right.
I turned in my badge and stuff because of situations, and I ended up wearing a cut. I wore a vest, and I did everything that goes along with that lifestyle. And I lost a lot of people, and very few were because of natural causes.
Right.
And like you said, it doesn't matter the location, your gender, how rich you are, how poor you are. It doesn't matter. Addiction's the one thing. It doesn't give a shit. It will kill you as fast as it can blink. And just like you were saying about how that one singer, it's like he doesn't look like this, someone dealing with addiction or violence. Those are the perfect ones that are the psychos, man. But, but no, I get you. And the thing is about telling stories is, yeah, we all do have some pretty crazy stories. But then when you hear the next one, and it may be way out there and intense and everything, and then you might hear the next story, which isn't as intense, but somebody heard something in that person's story that just clicked where it didn't happen in the previous story. That's why I always tell our family, please share, because something that you're going to say, just like Sunshine, Brenda, man, she's like, well, I really don't know if I want to come on now because seeing some of your guests, their stories are so intense. I'm like, listen, I see you, and just tell your story, what you want to tell. Man, the comments were blowing up. And your story, OG as a nurse with her brother, everybody's story matters. And that's why what you're doing, Lori, and for 15 years, whatever it is you've been doing this stuff. I mean,
well, I've actually been doing it a total of 35 years, but I've been out and doing street ministry for 9 years, and I myself, believe it or not, am coming up on 9 years clean. I didn't want to drink your liquor or anything like that, but I smoke all your weed. I mean, in a heartbeat. They didn't call them blunts back then. They had the little 1.5 zigzag rolling papers, I was more interested in seeing if I could roll a perfect one, than smoke.
Oh my God.
Got really good at it too,
Oh, I couldn't roll for shit. And the thing is, I was never one to smoke because I when I smoke a joint or bong or anything like that, two things were going to happen. One, I was going to just laugh hysterically, just, nonstop
Giggle.
laughing, which was fine. But the other one, I was just going to fall asleep.
Yeah.
And a lot of my buddies, we'd be at parties and they'd smoke it. They'd be sitting there and be like, and I was like, oh, that looks fun. So instead, I'm over in the corner doing lines bouncing off the wall. It's just like, to each their own. But yeah, it's just,
And I want you to make sure that all everybody in the My 5 Hour War family knows, like, the most powerful, everybody will tell you the most powerful part of the Addiction Eviction Rally. It'll be at 3 p.m. Central Time on June the 7th. And we do a white dove release. And if anybody that has never seen that, it is so beautiful. And these doves are trained to fly 52 miles. And so they beat the owner back home, but
what is it exactly for the people that
Wow.
don't know? Explain exactly what's going to happen, so what they know what to expect.
Addiction Eviction Rally, year number 7.
Yes.
We will have meet and greet, people coming in from out of state. They'll be getting into the hotels on Friday, and then we'll do, get together, eat, socialize. I just think it's better if everybody don't show up at the event and don't know who is, and most everybody comes for the meet and greet. That's really cool. And then on Saturday at 11, that's when we'll kick off, with praise and worship. And when I tell you, these guys, they're Christian rap hip hop artists. And, I know my brother, King Hanson's been going through a storm, in his life. And I am praying really hard. I am working. I've got 2 big fundraisers going on this week. God laid it on my heart to try to get that brother down here. He needs to be here.
Yes.
Not just because I love him and he's my friend, but he needs to be here to let us love on him,
He's got a heart of gold, man, as you
and
know.
so we're going to try to make that happen. And, there's just, like I said, we have recovery homes that'll be set up. We have mental health centers. We have free HIV, Hep C testing. We have shower up for the homeless. There's just so many, different churches. There's 2 things I've never allowed. Number 1 is a denomination. We are not about a denomination, and politicians. Never. I do not allow that. The mayor of this great city, I call him my mayor, my friend, Ronnie Marks. He comes out every year, says a word about what we've done for this city, and how much he appreciates it, because, he and his wife raised their grandson, and he's about the age of my oldest grandson. And their son is doing very well now. But he's socialized. He don't just come, how people will come if they're hold a title and make an appearance and leave. He's not like that. He wants to meet people and hear their stories. He's just a great guy. And but at 3 p.m. on that day, well, during the day, there'll be a table set up where you can sign a white balloon. Let's say you lost someone to addiction. You write their name on the balloon. They'll blow it up with helium, put a weight on it. When it comes time to do the white dove release, you'll have your balloon in your hand. You go back to the table and get your balloon. When the doves are set off, the white balloons go up as well to the heavens. It's absolutely beautiful. And this year, it was very, very strong in my spirit. I don't know if you remember, there was a guy here. His name was Marvin Sledge. They called him Hawk. And he died of a fentanyl overdose. And allegedly, we have to be really careful with wording, but allegedly there's video of someone injecting him with, the fentanyl. Where it happened is like 4 minutes from the hospital, but they drove around with his body allegedly for an hour and 15 minutes, and he died. And so his family is going to be the guest of honor at the memorial this year. And they will be setting off the white doves. And, everybody, they just look like statues out there, when those doves are released and those balloons go up. It's one year, I guess 3 years ago, it was like cloudy, overcast. And when that happened, we had a mama that had lost her son that gave her story about her son. When she let those doves out, the sky turned the most beautiful color of blue, and it wasn't a rainbow.
Wow.
It was like God took
Wow.
a paintbrush and just painted the sky with all these beautiful colors. And you'll see. So I'm
I
telling you, you think that you're coming just to speak. It's going to be so much more than that. And we've already got it arranged that your Dove's burgers will be delivered to the park. Yes, because I was like, how am I going to make this happen? Because they're not open when we'll be starting. So I got somebody going to pick those
Oh
up and
my
bring them
God, thank you.
there.
I mean, they're probably like, man, who is this Manny guy? We're not opening Dubs burgers for this guy. Oh man, Lori,
That's funny.
I cannot wait to be there because you just said something about how some people, if they get any type of notoriety or anything like that, they'll do like whatever is needed and that's it. And the thing is, I remember the first time I did public speaking, I didn't know what to expect.
Right.
I remember when I got done, I was like, whoa, okay. And I walked out and OG was standing there and I just assumed, okay, we're done. And that was it. I hit the back and I grabbed a couple of waters. I was hot, man. So I'm drinking the water. I go, okay, let's get out of here. And I turned around and there was just a
Surrounded.
shitload of people. That's Stephanie Rose. She was there. That's how I met her. And they just wanted to talk afterwards. And that was my first experience with that. And I absolutely loved it because it wasn't just going up there and giving my testimony and then walking out. It
Right.
was the person behind the story
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
just sharing. And then they opened up then. It was like, well, my son, this or my daughter. And it was like they felt this like safety net where it's like,
Yes,
okay, now
yes,
it's safe here.
yes.
And just hearing that. And when you just said that, I'm definitely looking forward to speaking and telling my story, whatever may come up. But I'm so looking forward to just the amazing people that you have in Athens, Alabama, and your family that you're part of. I cannot wait to, after I get done speaking, just to mingle and talk to everybody.
Yeah,
That's
Mhm.
and I want you to know there is a man. His name's Jim Downs. He has Rock House Recovery up in Spring City, Tennessee. He has Project 300, and they took the guys in recovery there. They took this Chrysler 300, pimped this thing out. It's painted burgundy. Burgundy got that big thing setting up in the middle of the engine,
I remember you telling
and they
about
have
that.
like a 24-foot trailer. They're going to 300 cities to gather 300 testimonies. After all of that's done, those testimonies are going to be put together in a documentary for Netflix. So, I'm praying that you'll get to give your testimony, but not only that, get that thing up to Detroit,
I
get
Mhm.
was just gonna say,
Detroit hooked
Lori.
up.
Well, not only are we gonna do that, but we're gonna get you to Detroit because
Oh, I'm coming
this
in
isn't a
July.
one and done, man. This is definitely not a one and done. Some people think that doing this is kind of like a fad. Oh well, I did this. Oh, that was done.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
This is just the beginning. There is no done. It's never done. This
Right.
is just you add. So you're coming here.
Yeah.
You said in July.
Yeah, I'm coming. I want to come up and see Stephanie and the baby. I've got some other things up there that I would like to make some amends with some folks. Want to see y'all. I want to spend maybe 3 or 4 days, maybe a little vacation.
What
That's
area?
all
What
going to depend on some things that I have going on in my life.
Yeah, yeah.
what
Um,
area in Detroit? Or what were you thinking about? What area?
well, I'm probably going to stay in Detroit, close
Oh,
to the airport and rent a
Okay.
car. I think Stephanie is up in like Warren, Michigan.
I'm not
Mm,
because you're only about. I mean, from the airport. Well, it depends on how you drive, man. I can make it there like 25 minutes,
I can do
half
it in
hour.
20.
There you. I love you. So, I mean, so yeah, we'll definitely whatever
ay, ay,
time
ay.
that you do. I mean, I know that you're limited on time, so you're limited on
Mhm.
how much time you can spend with people. But definitely, like to spend as much time and then show you around, man. Go
Yeah.
to different areas. Take you to July, man. We'll take you to Belle Isle. We'll take you down to the uh, oh my God, shit. I go by there every day. Oh,
You mean Father
Heidelberg.
Saladas?
The
Father
Heidelberg
Heidelberg.
Project. The
Which is
Father
next
Slash,
to-
the
yeah.
Heidelberg Project, and all these things that I'd love to take you to.
I would love to. I've been reading about Father Solanus.
Oh,
I asked
I was
questions,
there earlier. Hmm.
and that's something I would love to see. But after the rally on that day, normally, like you'll see me off to the side, while everybody's cleaning up, and I'm just laid out on the ground, like it takes everything out of me in a good way. You know what I mean? When you see
Well, I'm going to check
people,
for a pulse, just so you know.
Oh.
yeah, that's fine. But it's like when you see people throwing down crack pipes and meth pipes. You see people. I don't want to live like this anymore. You see people over there in the baptismal. And we don't just like baptize you and forget about it. Like they'll be over here on Saturday nights. And even when my last name changes, that's going to also that'll be something that'll continue as long as we live here, because he's looking at coming here. And I'm going up next weekend, and we got some things in the works. We'll see if I'm the same person when I come back on Sunday as I was when I left on Friday.
Wait, am I missing something here?
Yeah, tell him. I don't think he knows really.
Yeah.
Am I missing something here?
I guess I'm just gonna dive on in head first and get married.
Okay. I know that we were chit-chatting and things kind of, just
He missed me. He took a break. He took a little
not to
break.
miss.
And I never called him. I never, did, okay, that's what you want. Great. And then, I get this sweet little text, I really miss you. And he's just really a good person.
Man, when is this? When?
Well, we're planning to elope. And, it'll either happen.
We got breaking news, folks. Breaking news.
Lori's
Here
not
on Mike
pregnant.
White
That was
Hour.
the first
Lori's
And I don't know if we'll be able to make it happen this coming weekend because of his work schedule, but it's going to happen real soon. And I just was like, at my age, I'm pushing 60, and my daughter's coming back. She's going to get her kids back, no doubt. And I want to be happy. I want to travel. I want to be a wife. I want to cook dinner. I want to do all of those things. And he has an interest. I met him doing street ministry. He cooked for all the homeless people on our team. And so we have that in common, and he's a great guy. And he just really thinks awesome. I'm the cat's meow,
Well, yeah. That is, I'm so happy for you, Lori. I tell you what, to go from, you talk about God is great, huh? Everything that has happened to you in the last, let's just say, 4 months or 6 months or something like that. But, the majority of just this short period of time, how you got hit with just so much. And you could have just used it to say, you know what, I don't need this shit. And, kind of just tone things down a little bit and reel things in. And no, man, you're like, bring it.
Man,
you know what?
We share the Italian DNA, right?
Oh.
If there's one thing we don't do, that's quit, So you think you done something? No, what you did by hating on me is pushed me into my blessing. That's what you did. When that attack came, it was like, I have never seen grown adults act so crazy. But I'll tell you, the people that attacked me so hard, one day they're going to need help, because addiction, their kids are going to grow up. Addiction's going to strike them hard. It's going to hit them hard. And a lot of times when you don't pay for your shortcomings, you pay for it through your kids. And those very same people, if they called me or knocked on my door and was like, I'm really sorry, but, I'm dealing with addiction, and I'd help them. Sure would.
Oh, without a doubt. And, we don't ever wish anything bad on somebody. I'm not going to lie. In my past, the ones who knew me, I wish nothing bad on you. I would do something bad to you. I had no problem. There was no forgive and forget, or let's talk about it. Back in the way things were, if there was a situation or controversy, it was solved with, okay, let's talk about it. Let's go outside. I just freaking lay out or do it. I would do whatever I could to inflict as much physical pain on you or mental, whatever it is. And I didn't care.
See, we get
But
you
now,
people like me and you, Manny. We get you 3 times before you can get us one,
oh,
right?
that's just it. There is no such thing
Wow.
as a fair fight. You know, you want to come at me and say, give me, before you say first shot, I'm going to, but now with things, looking at things through these eyes and through this heart and soul that, I thank God have is, now when I have this shit happen, instead of reacting the way I do now it's faced with challenge accepted. Bring it on. Challenge accepted. I got it. I will handle it. And like OG, one time I had this interview, and the guy asked me a question about. He goes, "Well, we saw some of your footage or stuff that you did, and the anger and the violence and all this." And he goes, "How is that different now?" He goes, "Oh, now that you're this and new that." I go, "Oh, don't get me wrong." I go, "Piss me. You get to the point and you push me, I still punch you in the face." And I go, "But controversy now." I go, "I love controversy because it brings about conversation
Yeah.
and comments and ideas, and we can share these things. It doesn't mean we're going to kiss and hug and make up and be best of friends at the end of this. But what it means is we still may not like each other. But you know what? I never quite looked at it this way. So maybe I'll consider this now. It is so, it's just such a productive way to live, instead of
And it
having
takes a
broken
lot,
hands. And
to push us to the point. So, don't ever get it twisted, that like I'm still in the south side of the kingdom. I'm gradually coming out, but I'm laughing. My brother Long, he's a retired pastor, 80 years old, just came in, sitting at the table with me, did my mom's funeral. He was over here a couple of weeks ago, and I found out where, the weed came from, that had affected my grandson. And like I came up off the couch, and I mean, I said some words. So don't ever think that we don't, we don't get in the flesh. And so I peeled out of here, no phone, no nothing. And I went to this house, okay, by myself. And I go up and I beat on the door, and Grandpa comes to the door and looks at me like I'm crazy and slams the door in my face. Well, here comes Grandma, and just the sweetest little lady ever. And then here comes the little kid off the school bus in the 8th grade that has the weed, and his mom. And then I was like, look, the way I was brought up, we talk about these things. My grandson's not allowed over here. Well, here comes this little Miss Priss and gets right in my face, man. Her nose is touching my nose.
Woo.
You don't do that. You don't do that to me. And so my heart was literally, because I'd already said some dirty words. I ain't even gonna lie. And I told this girl, she's 20 years old, and she called me lots of really unique names. She was going to beat me out the driveway. And I was like,
unique names.
Yeah, I was like, look here, little girl. I was like, the best thing you can do is step over about 2 steps out of my face. I said, but I'm going to tell you this, and you better listen. If you swing on me one time, she's like, yeah, old lady. She called me, yeah, you old lady. No telling how old you are. And I said, this old lady has got a lot of frustration in her right now. And you swing on me, I will mop the street with you, and I'll come get your mama and clean the mess up with her.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And then I came home and I was like, God, what did I just do? And I called the police. I said, I want it on record that I did go over there. And the officer was amazing. And he went over there and told them, hey, that grandson of hers better not be caught over here, because they had to go over there and get him in the middle of the night once before, in the 8th grade. And what people don't know, I took him out of the public school system and I'm homeschooling him. People think that addiction only affects adults. I'm telling you, these video games are raising children instead of parents. You've got grandparents like me raising children. Luckily, I'm young enough to still hang with them. But, there are kids out there 10 years old and younger that are smoking crack cocaine. You know what I'm saying? That are
Mhm.
eating mushroom gummies. And I went to the superintendent and I was like, I said, I want, you to be honest with me. You lived a great life. I know her. She's a wonderful person. Would you even know what a weed pen looked like? Would you know what a mushroom gummy looked like? And she was teary eyed, And I said, this day and time, most of the teachers are just waiting till retirement. They wouldn't know even what a joint looked like, or they call them blunts now, the Black and Miles or whatever. And I said, I've had 3 mamas call me this morning to come up to your office and fight for their kid, but I can't do that. I'm here to fight for mine. What do I got to do to get mine out of the school system? I said, I have begged y'all for 4 months, bring in the drug dogs. They're selling vapes. I've told y'all which bathrooms. I've told you everything, and nothing's been done. And what's going to happen?
Wow.
Overdose is going to hit a rich white kid, and that's what is going to happen because the hawk sledges, the person of color, you know what I'm saying? Just put them in a bag and send them onto the corner. We had Epiphany Moore who sat in a freezer for 9 days. You know what I'm saying? While we tried to raise the money to give her a
I
proper
remember
burial.
that.
But if that
Yeah.
had been a rich white kid, I'm telling you, it would have been a different story.
It's unfortunate how this stuff goes and how things have to happen at different events in different areas and all that. When we just said we both, addiction doesn't give a shit, so we shouldn't either, man. And you don't sit there and treat one case more than another, but that's just life, and it sucks and it's wrong. But the
Yes.
thing is, man, we can't just throw our hands up just like you're not and just like no one else is, man. We just got to keep fighting. And that's one thing that you do and that we all do. All these people here just looking on here. We got, the family over there talking trash. See you guys on here. Tyler's on here. King Handsome's on here.
Coach Tony.
Coach Tony, I saw him on here. Of course, Jacqueline's on here.
Manny, I want to say something right quick because normally if I'm in the studio, I'm writing and I'm saying hello to everybody. Because I'm not in the studio, I can't. So it's not that I'm not loving you. I'm loving you, but I just can't tell you. I can't type it that I love you.
Can you see any of them? Because
I
I've
can
been
see
typing
them,
on
but I
all of
can't.
them.
I can't. But I can't respond.
I know,
For
but can
some
you
reason, it
see
won't
the
take it on my phone.
response? Can you
No,
see my response on all of them? I'm
Yes,
responding.
yes, yeah. I can see yours.
See, actually, I can respond. OG can if she wants to, but she said that she didn't want to be bothered with you guys. She's like, man, she goes, you know what? I really
you
don't
ought
want
to
to
be
be sitting
lucky
here
I'm not
typing
there.
on this stuff. She goes, I'd just rather talk to Lori. She goes, I don't want to be bothered. She goes, now that I have my own show and you're just a guest on my show. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, is I just have to change the intro a little bit. The new intro, thanks to Tim over at Talking Trash for our new intro, which is amazing. It originally had my picture on it along with everything else, but OG had my picture removed because it's now my Fight Our War.
Tim's gonna freak.
OG, because we are at our restaurant we go to is Apple Annie's, and we were leaving, and she stopped and she was talking to a couple at one of the booths. So I'm up there and she goes, oh, hold on a minute. I know some family here, a friend of my son's. And I hear him talking. And all of a sudden I hear this laughing and I hear more laughing. All of a sudden I hear, hey, man, he recognized you from the show. And I was like, oh, well, that was nice. And she goes, yeah, he said, hey, Miss Lynn, I recognized him from your show. So I was like, oh, okay, well, from Miss Lynn's show.
My show.
I've always said from day one when I started my Fight Our War that this is never about, I've always said it's not about I and me, that this is all us and we. And that proves it because she made sure to tell everyone, did you know that Manny's a guest on my show?
My show.
My show. So, hey, that's fine. That's fine with me because I got Miss Lori.
Look, I want everybody to know, because I know there's some people from my Fight Our War that has had a lot of questions and some that are planning to come. But Athens, Alabama is right off I-65. The hotel where y'all are staying is like maybe 5 minutes from where the event will take place. our city, they're so well, they donate us this park every year. It's going to be phenomenal. But if anybody wanted to fly, Huntsville, Alabama, it's probably the most expensive airport in the nation, but it's only like 25 minutes away. Or you can fly into Nashville, Tennessee. It's a lot cheaper. Right now from Detroit, tickets are $128 round trip. And so you rent a car and be here in an hour and a half. So if anybody wants to come and meet Manny or hear Manny speak, that's part of my 5-hour war, we would love to have you come to the Addiction Eviction rally. We may even have some time to do open mic stuff. We've got the park from Friday morning till Sunday night at 10 p.m. So there's no telling what's going to happen over there.
I'm really looking forward to it. And I don't know if you guys, I just happened to look down. And Deanna, thank you so much because
Thanks,
Deanna
Deanna.
is enjoying both of OG's guests today. So, yeah, it is my pleasure and it's my honor to be on OG's show. And so, Deanna, thank you. I'm really hoping I've actually sent while we're sitting here and you see me doing stuff. I'm actually sending OG some text messages asking if she'll have me on again. So if you get, she's ignoring them right now because she said she'll have her people get back to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have to wait for OG's people to get back to me to let me know if I can come back on the show or not. So
Yeah.
Deanna, if I'm doing well enough, if you could please give me a couple little,
Thumbs
little
up.
nudges there, thumbs up, thumbs down, and because everyone knows we want Lori. So I'm cracking up right now. Right now, Lord, Deanna's going, yeah. So I tell you what, I am so looking forward to June, though. And it seemed when we first started talking about this, God, it was so many months ago. And thinking, and I remember when you brought it up, because as soon as you brought it up about the event, and you said something about, be nice to come if I were to come there. And as soon as you said it, I looked at OG, I go, June, whatever. And she wrote it down. I go, let's do it. And all of a sudden
days.
now, I mean, we're already in March. I mean, it's going to be here before you know it. Deanna I got a thumbs up.
All right, Deanna.
I got it. Thank you,
95
Deanna.
days we'll be there.
95 days, Lori.
Well, I think that you're going to get some good Southern hospitality.
Oh, I'm so.
Everybody is welcome because this rally is not for me or about me. This is something the Lord called me to do to help people get set free, to use my talents, resources. I consider myself a resource hub because when I was out there trying to fight for my daughter, I didn't have anybody. I didn't have my 5-hour war. You know what I'm saying? People don't want to associate. They don't want their kids associating with your child because they've been in rehab, crazy stuff. And so I vowed that I would share all my resources. And that's what I do. And I will always do that till I take my last breath, And so I can't wait for y'all to come and just hug y'all, both of y'all. When I look at Manny, it's not just about Manny coming. It's about OG coming too, because of everything that she puts into making my 5-hour war happen.
Buy one, you get two.
And right. And increased your value, Manny.
I'm telling you, and that's just how it is with all of us here, man. I mean, and it's not just my 5-hour war. It's all of the different. It's you and your family. It's all the other families as well. Is you might have someone who's the host, and they're getting all the credits or they're getting the camera time and all that. But there's so many people that help out that are like behind the camera and doing all the other stuff. Everyone sees what OG does because she's on camera. She's doing both. But there's some of these organizations who their admins, don't want to be on camera. Not everyone feels comfortable. That's fine. But they work their butts off doing stuff like that. And it's just a family-oriented. When I first started my 5-hour war, I didn't know what I was doing. So I'm on Facebook trying to get it organized, and it's walking you through the steps. And it said type of organization. And then it said group. And then patients and clients. And I was like, I don't like those words. We're family, that we are a family. But I had to put social organizations, all this stuff. And when I did the first post, introducing myself and who I was and who my fight or war, what I stand for, why I put it together. It's because we are a family, and that's how I want it to be addressed.
Mhm.
And it just took off. Everyone from day one, I just wanted to introduce myself to this family, and to this day, I mean, all the people. I mean, Tyler, Deanna, everybody. That's the first thing it is. It's because you miss that when addiction, because as King Handsome put it, you can have people who are relatives that they're done with you. And, some bridges can't be, rebuilt. And,
Mhm.
the ones who are sticking by us through thick and thin, when myself, man, I remember those meetings and we have to have a talk, son, and all this shit, where it's like, listen, why you give me a hard time? I'm the one who's hurting here. I'm the one who's hurting myself, and I'm the one, poor me. But it's the people around us, our loved ones, who we are putting them through that time. Laura, you saw that when we were at the table and my ma was crying. You're breaking my heart. That's what we do to our families. That's what we do to our
Mhm.
friends. We crush them, and it's even worse because they want to help us, but there's nothing they can do. And it makes them feel so useless and helpless. And so when I hear people say, well, it's not them, yeah, it is them. And they deserve so much credit for putting up with. I had a guy one time say, I have family members who haven't forgiven me, and they're like, I've been sober for a year now, and I've this me. I go, listen, you little prick, you were a fucking addict for over 30 years, causing nothing but turmoil in everybody's life, and you've been sober a year. Congratulations, man. You expect 30 years of just pure hell that you put everyone through just to forget about it?
Right.
No, it's a process. Just like, I have to accept what I've done. And, just like I told OG, man, one thing I tell people now is you got to own it. And for me,
Mhm.
until I owned it, whether it's drugs, alcohol, temper, whatever, until you own it, it owns you. And I'm
That's
very
right.
proud to say I own it now. And
And when you use those certain words around people, I'm a faith-based ministry, but when you use words like client,
oh,
certain words scare people. You know what
patient
some
client.
people like that hang out with me that are going to church with me now would never have walked inside of a church because of words like, client, can you fill out this paperwork? No, come hang out with us on Saturday night. Let us hear your story. What do you need? Do you have enough groceries? What can we do to help you?
Hmm.
Know what I mean? You're not a
Beautiful.
file, and you're not, on a
Thank you.
spreadsheet. You know what I mean? You're a soul and you matter. And everybody has a purpose. And if you'll get your mind off of the fact that you're labeling yourself as an addict, and ask the Lord, what is my purpose? Why did you allow me to go through this? What was I supposed to take from this? You'll go out there and change the world one person at a time. If there's 100 people sitting in a room, Manny, and you spoke, there might be 99 of them that didn't give a crap what you said, and maybe one that's back there bawling their eyes out getting set free.
And that's what it is too. And that's why we just said about how words and how important they can be, and how strong and how dangerous they can be, is that when you're speaking, it can just take that one comment, that one scenario that you went through and just described, that you made it through, that someone else thought, I thought I was the only one dealing with that, or I thought this and that. And it's just something that all of our words matter. All of our stories matter. We
Mhm.
matter. I don't
Yes,
care how
matter.
young, old, I don't care what your situation is. We all matter, and we all are just part of this amazing family. And even Kanessa, and I'm looking, and it's Kaisa, but I just noticed when I wrote it, it went to autocorrect because she just put, "Hi, Manny." Autocorrect is always a
Mhm.
trip, and I was like, "What is she
Mhm.
talking about?" And I looked up, and it changed her name. Instead of Kaisa, it's Kansa instead of Kajsa. So that was autocorrect. That was me going squirrel. So, okay,
Exactly.
continue. I don't want OG to cut me off the show, so I got to behave.
Well,
OG,
it's
I'm sorry. It won't happen again.
been an honor to spend this time with y'all today because, y'all mean the world to me. I'm so happy that y'all are coming down. Yes, for the rally, but for us to finally, meet face to face
Yes.
because we've been friends now for a very long time. Been
Mhm.
family for it's like we were family from the day we met, or we talked for the first time. And I came
Yes.
up, gave my testimony, and if anybody, I don't care where you live, and you need help, reach out to me. You can get me through Manny or OG because
Mhm.
I will get you a resource in the state you live, to help you get the help that you need. This past week, a girl, I grew up with her family. Her dad, worked with my mom. I didn't know he passed away from a drug overdose last year. And his gallbladder ruptured when he overdosed. Well, his daughter was, in active addiction, and actually they were the homeless for a while here in Athens. And the daughter had went to a rehab up in Chattanooga, and she, relapsed, went into a detox facility, and they found her dead. I guess it's been 3 days ago. Less than a year from the time her father died. And so, just don't be ashamed to ask for help. Don't be ashamed to ask for help because we're not doing this for money. There's not one dime collected from anybody for anything. We do this because, we fought to see our loved ones make it out alive, if not
Yes.
our own self. And so, we'll get you hooked up with some resources and you're going to see when you come to the rally, like last year, TJ Boyd down in Grantville, Georgia, hooked up with Clean Slate, Redeemed, all of those guys. They go around the nation doing prison ministry together now. So it's going to be some awesome connections made, that you'll be able to carry with you and friendships that'll last a lifetime for real.
And the thing is, too, with a lot of these people, man, I mean, the people that Lori has are some pretty big names and stuff, people who are in big demand. But she wasn't reaching out, calling them. They were calling her. How can I come on? When is your event? I want to be there. That shows you how much love and respect Lori has from the community and from the recovery community as a whole, not just in Athens, Alabama, not just in Detroit, Michigan, but around the world. These artists, and see, Lori's not telling you that because she's very, very humble and stuff like that. But people need to know, man. A lot of people, when you're putting these events together, they are on the phone nonstop. Hey, listen, man, can you please come? And some people, I mean, you got to practically bribe some of them, and you got to pay some of them. And I mean, of course you do. I mean, there's some of them, you've got a lot of different people. They're entertainers and stuff, and this is their job and their livelihood. But then you got the others who just want to be part of it to do whatever it takes, and that's where Lori comes in. They're calling her, Lori, we know you're having your event. We want to be there. And it's just like, so
It was
Lori, that's
so
a, that's a
cool that
testament on you.
I was up under the bridge in Knoxville, Tennessee. There's hundreds of families under there homeless, and this bridge has my heart. I've been there a lot, and they outlawed tents in the state of Tennessee for the homeless. So there's just bodies just laid out on the cement. It's unbelievable. So we did a big street revival up there, and I was the host. I got asked to host it, and there was this little clean cut guy, and he was like, "Who are you?" And I told him, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Well, my name is Josh, but I'm redeemed. That's his music artist name." And they'll tell you if you're coming for the music, you're coming for the wrong reason, because they got testimonies that will rock your world. And so I told him, he's like, "What do you do?" And I told him, he's like, "Man, we want to come." He said, "We've tore up so many cities in our addiction." He said, "We just want to give back.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how I met these big name music, Clean Slate, all those guys. They're with Kingdom Music. Jay Truth, he's independent. I think Redeem's independent artist now. But like I said, I just happened to we all were at the right place at the
That's
appointed
right.
time. It wasn't
That's
coincidence.
You were meant to be there at that time. It's like you. Sometimes you'll hear, "I
Mhm.
was in the wrong place at the wrong time." No, I was in the right place at the right time. No, you were meant to be where you were meant to be, and
Right.
that's the bottom line. But
Wow.
I get so looking forward to this. I mean, it is something, and it's funny because, like I said months ago when it was first brought up, it was like, yeah, 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 and I remember telling OG, I go, man, that's what about it's like 8 months away, seven, and now, like you said, what
95
94,
days.
95 days, we'll be sitting right next to you.
And I can't wait. Manny, I'm just going to tackle you. I'm going to see
Oh, I
how
can't.
you are. I'm just going to tackle you and hug you and say,
Oh,
I get to meet my brother and my sister. I can't wait.
it's gonna be such a great time. But well, I tell you what, Lori, I really appreciate you just sitting here and just sharing everything as far as, of course, your event, which is huge. I mean, that's what we do with this platform is we try to get as much information about big events like this, how people can become part of it, how people, if they just want to show up and be a part of it that way, or if they can help directly in another way. Uh, so that's why we're here. But then to share all of our personal experiences and then everything else that you just shared along with that amazing story. I'm
Mhm.
so happy about your daughter.
Yeah.
That is just, I mean, I remember that day we talked for well over an hour. Just could just you could hear it in your voice, you could hear it in your heart, and it was such a beautiful conversation. And if anyone deserves it, it's you, man. So I'm so happy for you. But
I'm going to have a son in law. Yeah, I have a daughter in law. And it's kind of like all of the desires of my heart. It's my time. And I
yes,
want
it
y'all to
is.
get ready because, when it's time to come to Detroit, we're going to bust those streets up. We're going to change
Uh-oh.
some lives up there. I want to go to the roughest neighborhood in Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah, it's well. I
Where
tell you what.
y'all want to
She's
rally?
froze.
Did I freeze?
I was sitting here and all of a sudden you froze, and I go, and I looked up and OG was froze, and then all of a sudden I froze. It's
But we're
like
back now.
we're back now.
Yeah, but we can take the rally on the road. If you want to rally in your
Yes.
city, let me know. I'll tell you how to do it. I'll choreograph it for you. I'll do
Well,
I'll do all the footwork, and
well,
then and let's go out there and let's give people some hope.
I
Let's go
tell
out
you what.
and throw
When
hope.
you get here, without a doubt, when you get here in July, we will get together, spend a beautiful day together, showing you the sights and just catching up and show you a few different areas. Tell me what you think, and then we'll take the next step. But that sounds like a plan.
Let's do it. Let's
All right, Lori, I love you, man. Thank
I love
you
you more.
for but I really appreciate it. And I'll be chit chatting with you soon. We'll
Yeah.
we'll talk. We'll talk this week while I'm doing my laps at the stations and seeing Dad and everybody. So I'll get a hold of you and we'll chit chat.
Yeah, and shout out to Tim with Trash Talkers for your
Mm.
intro. Man, that rocked.
There you go, Tim. See
I
Yeah,
that?
it does.
no,
Well,
thank you for taking care of Manny and OG. That's an
yeah.
awesome intro.
Well, thank you, Lori. Give everyone in Athens, Alabama, a big hello from us. Tell them Detroit's coming.
Mhm.
I've been telling them that. Get ready. What you think
uh,
of Detroit Motor City's on its way. So
all right,
you
Lori. I love
guys
you,
just
honey.
pack up and come on.
We are. Well, you have a great night, and we'll be chit chatting soon.
Okay, love
All
y'all.
right. Love you,
Bye
Lori.
bye.
Oh, that was nice. That was nice. I tell you, it was. Let's see. Hold on a minute.
Wonderful human being. There's so much love.
Okay, we're gonna switch this over now.
Take a look
And
at your messages. Did you see a small message from me that says, "Can you see this?"
yeah, I didn't see it.
Okay. Because
Where it
I
said,
went
"Can you
on
see it?" The one that you said, "Can you
because
see this?"
here I went on
The one that said, "Can you see this?" Yeah, I didn't see that one.
here. I'm on YouTube on my iPad. I can't do it from my phone, but from my iPad, if I go to YouTube, I can message.
The message that said, "Can you see this?" Right? That message.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Stop. Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, that's right. Well, I got to watch what I'm saying. I might not be on the
Mm.
show anymore.
That's too funny.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Manny, you can't come on the show anymore. And
No.
Kaisa, I'm sorry if you're still watching for the. I thought it's first. I
Yes.
thought it said Kansas.
Yeah, that's what I
Kansas.
thought. I thought,
I'm
who are
like,
you writing to? Kansas? What's
who's
that?
in Kansas? Because she said, what did she put? It said, where'd it go?
But I felt bad. I
Oh,
couldn't
it
say
says,
hi to
hi,
Coach
Manny.
or
Autocorrect.
Handsome or
It says autocorrect is always a trip. And I'm like, what is she talking about? Autocorrect. And also I looked up and it says, hi, KNSAS. No, KNSA. It was like, what? Whoops. So yeah, looking down the list here, I got everybody, I think. Coach,
see Coach and
saw
Jackie
Coach,
and
and then Scott, and then Jacqueline. Yeah, Jacqueline got her on there, and Tyler,
Tyler.
King
Deanna.
Handsome,
Yeah.
my man. And God, I really hope that things work out for things, and we get to have King Handsome not only in Connecticut but in Athens as well. And Jim from Talking Trash, how you doing,
And
Jim?
Will. Is Will from Talking Trash?
Will, I'm sorry. Yep, Will.
Yep.
And King Handsome again. And let's see what's up. OG, great to see y'all. Hope Sunday is blessed. Will, that was from Will. Tyler, we are here from South Side of Heaven. Then Talking Trash popped in. It says Talking Trash represents. Then Kaisa, Deanna. Yeah, Deanna enjoyed both of your guests, OG. That was good. That was good. Yeah, OG.
You didn't miss
Just
it.
so you
That's
know,
great.
just so you know, I enjoyed both your guests, OG. And I said, okay, well, give me a thumbs up or down because that way I
That's
can
right.
know if I can come back on. And just for the record, she gave me a thumbs up, or it could have been for Lori.
Duly noted.
Jeremy popped on for a bit. Yeah, so that was nice, man. That was nice, and just hearing the stuff about Lori, because
Her
I mean we
daughter.
all get
Oh, wow.
those these moments where it's not jealousy, of because you're not jealous of somebody, uh, like in her situation, but
Mhm.
you're just human, man. When you're sitting there, it's like, man, I'm doing all I can. I'm doing the right things. I'm helping people, and it's you don't do things because, well, if I do this, I
I'll
expect this
get
in
this.
return.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you should do it because you want to do it in your heart and you want to do it. But
Mhm.
you know what? We're not going to bullshit. We're human, man. And it's like, part of us, if you're doing something, even if it's just a little recognition, hey, you know what? I appreciate you. Thank you for doing it. That's
Mhm.
enough. But
Mhm.
when, these big things that are happening in people's lives, when you're going through personal things like with her family, hasn't talked to her daughter in 15
15
years.
years.
And all of a sudden to get this call.
Mhm.
And I still remember and I felt like I even told her, I'm very honored that she
Wanted to share with you.
reached out to me.
Yeah.
And I got that message, and I was with Dad at the cemetery, and
Mhm.
was making my rounds at the stations and called while I was doing that, and it was just perfect. You could just feel the smiles in her heart just through the phone of just bubbling over. I mean, it was amazing. 15 years, and she said that she called back again. It was, I think, a day or 2 days later when she actually said, "I love you." And
Mhm.
you know, and it sounds a little bit harsh to say she deserves it, but you know what? She does. She doesn't do what she does because she expects something. Lori
Mhm.
does what she's doing because that's Lori with her kind heart. But I feel so blessed to be that she shared that with me,
Yes.
knowing how much she does for other people, and so that was nice. It was a very nice conversation to have with her. But
Well, it's like you are the world's big brother.
Yeah, it seems like it. And I
Uh-huh.
love it. I enjoy it,
Uh-huh.
man. I mean, some of the conversations I've had are just incredible. Where I'll get this call, or it's just like I just got to tell you about. And it's just like whoa, some of these things I
Mhm.
didn't expect to hear, and being caught off guard like that. Great show, June 7th. Cannot wait, and that's
Yeah,
from Jacqueline. So
Jacqueline.
that's gonna be nice. She's gonna be there. So Jacqueline, I'm sure you're very excited. You get to meet OG.
Yes.
And I might be there. I mean,
Yeah.
if
I'll
OG
bring them.
let,
I'll bring them
yeah,
along.
yeah. Well, if she brings me, so
Just
in
for
case I have to
entertainment
carry,
purposes.
yeah, I got to carry stuff or something like that. Help set up her chair.
Oh, thank you.
Um, but I can't remember what I was going to say. The hell was I going to say?
Something profound, no doubt.
Oh, it had to have been.
Hmm.
Damn it! What was it? It was something about Lori. Uh,
Be interesting to see when she gets married. She'll probably call you then too.
yeah, because I mean, obviously, I knew, when she
Well,
a
she had
while
talked
back
about their special
talked
man in
about
her
it,
life, but
and then there was a few issues.
yes,
And it was like, okay.
which we won't
And
discuss.
then I didn't hear anything more. And it was like, okay. And I did hear you guys while I was messing with the wind or the lighting.
Hmm.
And I thought she was talking about, because I heard her, she was talking about her daughter and
Yeah.
her upcoming marriage.
Hmm.
So when I heard that, I thought it was still the same conversation. And then when I heard her talk about her name, I was like, squeeze me. What?
What?
And for her to to talk about that, that's what I love too about our family and all of us here
Hmm.
is this is some pretty serious shit that we talk about, and we share it without hesitation, man. It's like when you're ready to talk about it, you come on and we share these stories. And like I mentioned to a few people when I first started My Fight or War, I said, do you realize that you're sharing some extremely heartfelt,
Hmm.
I mean, painful stories with people that you don't even know and never even met. You are telling, this that you're telling stories that your own family and closest friends don't even know, and you're telling us. That just shows you, the camaraderie and the understanding that we have for each other. That listen, this guy, this girl went through. They don't know exactly what I'm feeling, but they know
Hmm.
the whole environment. They cannot understand the things that I'm saying. They'll understand what I'm talking about. And that's what we've done here. And, with the rest of the families
It's
that
that
are,
safe space.
yeah,
It's a
it's a
safe
safe
space.
place. And, yeah,
No guilt, no guilt, no blame, no shame.
yeah, and no voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dead air, host, dead air.
My voice is going.
When my
I sound
voice
like
went,
Manny. I sound
oh,
like
shit.
Manny.
If I sound like that, I'm no longer hosting.
I sound like Manny. I sound like Manny.
No,
Uh,
no one bats an eye. Tyson, we got to get you on here too, man. I don't know if you heard when I was talking with Tim and Will. Um, Obviously, I go do lives all the time, any day, all day. You know that. So if you or anyone, when you're telling your story, um, but you know what? Let me know if you want to go live, if you and the rest of the crew, or if you've got something, if it's um, something that you have come up and you want to go live. I mean, I know you got your own show and your own platform, but if something happens where you're not with everybody, you can't do it. Give me a call, man. Hit me up, and I'll send the link over, and we'll go live. We'll do it anytime. I am currently off
and your
for the
family.
next I'm off for the next 4 weeks for sure. 3 weeks or so. 3 weeks for sure. Yeah, because we're already into March. So I'm off for the next 3 weeks for sure. And then I don't know what's going on. Depends on if I have to have another surgery or
Mm.
not. Uh, you just coughed right into the camera. And you're a
Cover my
nurse.
mouth.
Oh my God, germs everywhere. We're all sick now. Yeah, we all got we got OG boogers all over us. Look at that. Ugh. Yeah, look at all those.
I got my Lysol wipes.
Oh, oh, so yeah, Kaisa, let me know, man. Anytime, just hit me up if you want to go live, or like I told, I don't know if you saw when the guys were on, as far as coming on to tell their story and to tell your story as well. If you have a time where you want to come on and give your story, your testimony, let me know, and let OG know, and we'll get you on, and you can share yours as well anytime you want, because as we've said, our family is growing.
Yep.
And Kaisa, you are part of it. I hope you know that. So we love you, and you need anything at all, hit us up. Let us
Reach
know.
out.
We are definitely here for you. So, and I'm honored for being a guest on your show, and I'm sure you know that I am good to come on again. I believe it's the 19th that
March
I'm
19th.
going to be. Yeah, March 19th. I think I'm coming back on your guys' show, so I'm really looking forward to that. Okay.
Okay.
Anything else that you want to talk about before we leave your show?
No, I just think I need
So
to get
now
a
I
cup of
gotta
tea.
say, so now when I do the intro, I gotta say hello. I'm Manny Vitale, co-host, or OG's minion.
Minion. Oh, I like that. I like
Yeah,
that.
OG's little minion here. So all right, I think we got everybody. I had today I had OG's job as far as trying to do a little bit of texting and answering stuff. So
I prefer to be in the studio. It makes it much easier.
yeah, so besides that damn autocorrect, guys, I had no idea what you were talking about. I'm like, what autocorrect? Until I saw it, it's like, oh, what the hell did they
Kansas.
do? Kansas or something.
Whatever. Close.
All right. Well, with that being said, I think it's time to sign off now with that awesome new intro and exit that Tim made. So, Kais and everybody else, man, I love you guys. Thank you for being part of this amazing family.
Good night,
And
guys.
thank you for everything you do. And actually, I grew up in Kansas. So, see
Okay,
that?
So we'll call it
All
Kansas.
right. Honey. Well, Kais, like I said, you need anything, hit us up, man. We will talk to y'all soon. Until then, keep fighting a good fight.